All right. I just started the live stream. You guys could click in now if you guys want. All right. Before we start anything, I am recording, so if anyone's not here, I'm recording right here in the background. And all right. So also before we go into anything, I use Thinkorswim, and the candles I use are the Heiken Ashi candles right here. So I recommend doing it yourself, making this the Heiken Ashi candles on your charts. And if you guys have any questions, just talk to me or tag me in the questions for IC. Honestly, like, I know you guys are muted, but if I'm not speaking for a moment, you guys can speak up, ask a question, anything like that. But once you guys are in Thinkorswim, we're going to be using the Ichimoku Clouds. So we'll go to edit the studies and just check everything out I have right here. Sorry, it glitches right when I first get in it. But to get the Ichimoku, you just come right here to search, and you just type in Ichimoku. That comes up. That's how you get all these right here. And as soon as you click on it, it'll pop up. If you just double click it twice, it just comes right here like that. But I'm Xing mine out because I already have mine right here. But I'll show you the settings of it real quick as well. I also have the 20-day and the 50-day moving average. And then also I use VWAP. And then I recommend using the MACD and at least your volatility, the implied volatility. You guys could like take a picture of this real quick so you guys could see what my settings look like before I click into the Ichimoku. All right. Once you guys bring up Ichimoku though, go into the settings of it. And so they all come with the T, the K, span A, span B, and Chiku. All these lines right here. My color is green for the T line, the Tenkan. It's 2 width. Then if you go to your K line, it's 2 width as well. Everything on here has the width of 2. And so this one's green. My T line is green. K as well, right here. It's 2. And my color is red. It's a really light red. Span A. This one is gray. The width is 2. My span B is yellow, and the width is 2 as well. That happened last time. It always resets to 1, but I always try to make it 2. And then my Chiku, the light purple, the width is 3. The inputs up here, it's 9 and 26. It should already come like that, so don't even touch up here. And then you're going to click OK next. And if you apply it, you won't have every exact little line I have here because these are the moving averages, these little bubble ball things, but you'll get exact colors I have right here for my cloud. I'll go to Neo since I don't really have any trend line set up, but it should be starting to look like this. Thinkorswim automatically does it for you. That's all you gotta do right there. So that's like how you really set it up. And then the time frames I use, these are my time frames. I use the 15-minute to scalp. I also use 30-minute just to see kind of within a scalp as well. I also look at the 1 hour, and then the 4-hour and the daily. And then sometimes for swings, I look at the weekly. Not really that often. But I recommend looking at the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the daily charts the most. I know within the trading days or in trading hours, you guys are going to want to look at the 15-minute and 30 minutes just to scalp, but I usually don't even look at those unless I like what I'm seeing within the 1 hour, 4-hour, and daily. I don't like to look at the 30-minute or 15-minute to see what's happening in the short term. I like to look at the longer term plays because I feel like they have a higher potential chance of breakouts. And even if I miss the first play, I feel like there's a higher chance it's still happening. Because if you miss a play within the 15 to 30 minutes, the trend could be bearish when you're trying to get calls to the other side, and then you end up you just got reversed pretty much on, and the play's going now the opposite way. So you're going to take an L on that. Compared to if you're going within the trend on a 4-hour daily or even the weekly chart, there's a chance that it'll continue to push up with great strength. As you know, every time frame will look different always. So I just never really like to look at the 1 minute or the 5 minute. I think not too good of a way to trade. Maybe the 5 minute, but for surely not the 1 minute chart. So I just wanted to show you guys what my time frames are, and then we're gonna get into this real quick right here. You guys have any questions so far? No? All right. So we're looking at NEO here. We can look at NEO or Tesla. I mean, I'm going to show you guys a couple tips and tricks on the Ichimoku Cloud. I'm going to show you what I do every single day when I'm looking at my charts, what I'm looking at as in like which ones are breakout levels, when I think there's going to be a lot of potential moves to which side, and how I get like my price targets pretty much. That's honestly the easiest part. It's just once you find out the trend, you can begin to start looking at the next support and resistance when it's outside of the cloud. It's quite easy. So I'm glad you guys are all here to get this in. So I'm gonna look at Tesla because I already know what I'm gonna say for Tesla. So here we go. I'm on the 4-hour chart here, and we're looking at this green line, which is the 90 MA. This is the T line right here. This red one is the K line, what we just set up in the settings. And then this is the cloud. When it's up yellow like so, it's positive. When it's red, it's negative. But just because it's red or yellow, depending on whichever color, just because it's positive or negative doesn't mean it's going to have a potential play to continue to be positive to the upside or bearish to the downside. It's just really there. I usually just use it for the future resistance levels and where it could break out from. And a lot of people look at the cloud and they think just because it's red down here, it's going to continue to be bearish. But as soon as it gets through this red cloud, it's typically the most bullish indicator to the upside. It's the influx. If it gets through, it's going to be a very powerful move to the upside. And what we might see actually from Tesla in the coming days is we might chop right here, or we might just pounce up in between this very thin line of resistance of this cloud and just run towards that 700 level once again. So I think that's very possible for Tesla, and especially because we just got this cross right here. This is another bullish indicator. So if the green line crosses the red line, it's gonna have greater support to the upside. It's just like if a 90 MA crossed a 20-day moving moving average. It's the same exact thing. That's what these green and red lines are right here. They're moving averages. So I have 4 different moving averages right here. I have the 20 and then the 50. 20's in orange, 50's in blue, sorry. And then these one's the 9 and this one's the 26 practically. And then so if once this crosses, every single time it crosses to the upside or downside, you can see it cross right here. And we fell all the way from right here at 660. And you came all the way down here to 620. So if you played just off this cross, when it initially just happened, that's 30 points to the downside. So this cross right here, we're at 650. We could see 30 points to the upside even up here to the 678 resistance. Yeah, so typically when this cross happens and it maintains the support, especially on the 4-hour, because it's going to be a lot of stronger support. The longer time frame you're out, like a 4-hour daily, a 2-hour, or even a 1-hour, it's going to be a lot bigger support on each time frame. Because watch, okay, So 652 right here is the T line. And then if I were to go out, or right here as well, it's like 643 is the red line right here, like my K line. So if we go out to the daily, this red line is 647. So it's pretty close to where that red line was. Every single time you go inwards, like in or out, the support is nearly the same. This one's 643 on the 2 hour. So we just saw that other red line, the other K line on the 4 hour. We can see that 643 is pretty much a bigger support right here. And as long as it's holding that, it should continue to the upside. If it were to fall out of the cloud right here and then fake us to the downside. But we'll have to see with that for Tesla. But as long as it's inside of the cloud, it's going to be consolidating practically. And then so either way, we can see it enter the cloud. And so Tesla today, it didn't do anything really at all. It really faked both sides and stayed within like a 10-point range or so. And so I think we might continue to see it until we do get above the 660 area. I would say 663 to play it safe. I have that on a 4 hour, and this was also the last high. So if we get past that, we're going to see a nice move to the upside. But as long as it's inside of the cloud on the Ichimoku theory, we're going to be seeing consolidation. I hope you guys need to remember this. As long as it's inside of the cloud, it's consolidating. There are going to be times when it first gets inside of the there's selling pressure inside of the cloud. You might see it go straight below, though. It does matter. So as soon as it goes below all these moving averages and you see this cross, it'll be a really good time to short. As you can see, this green cross went underneath the red. They're up here, 680. It went all the way down to 652 before even making another attempt. It still went all the way back down here to 620. So by the time it even crossed back over, was way over here. So that's the next time it even made a bullish cross. So you guys need to remember that green crossing over the red is bullish, and then green crossing under is bearish. It's very important to remember. Going back to how the cloud works, though. So we can see it's about to twist right here, and it's going to start maybe giving us a positive side if we can push and stay above this 9 EMA at 657. We're currently underneath, so as long as you stay above the green line, it's good to stay in a play. You can see back here when it made its nice run, what was this, like 2 weeks ago? It bounced off. We saw the cross back here. This is where the cross happened, and it's still kind of consolidated a little bit with upwards momentum. And as long as it's above this green line on the 4 hour, it's a really good play to still be swinging for options or not. It's going to be a good play. So I recommend when you're trading just to buy an option and not always watch the premium if you really think this swing's going to pan out to how you think it should. If you're used to having paper hands, there's sometimes where I try to really not look at the premium at all, but it's kind of hard because I have to call it out to you guys. So it's really helpful if it stays above the green line because it's going to still have bullish momentum to the upside. You see this whole time for about 3 days, it was still moving upwards. And then as right as it closed below this green line, you could close it out and you'd still have about like a 60-point gain on this. It'd be around there. Be around 50 to 60-point gain win on this Tesla play. And you know how Tesla moves, so if you go around 50 to 60 points, that'd be a nice profit on there. But obviously this could work for any stock that's not Tesla. I mean, we could go look at Apple anytime. This is why I like looking at the 4 hour. It's really easy. Palantir was looking good on the 4 hour, like about 2 weeks ago as well. So as you can see, it stays above the red line, especially right here. That's how you know it's in a strong uptrend. So we know Apple's been in a strong uptrend all since June, pretty much. We can see it right here. It's pretty much staircase into the upside. So each time it broke underneath the green line, you could wait for it to get right back above, and you could have honestly even gotten on this candle, and then it would have been a good bounce because it was just sitting right on the green line, which would be some nice support and a push up. Doing that for about 6-7 days, or about 3 days because this is the 4 hour. And as soon as it crossed underneath, we saw a green cross underneath, and now we might see another green cross above now. So the rest of the week is important, so we're going to see what happens here. If we fail to get above this cloud and the red line right here, the K line, we're going to see some selling momentum to the downside, and where we should see 142 tested right here. So whenever you're in the cloud, you can look at these lines pretty much of the cloud. This is what I do. I look at whatever has the longest line pretty much right here. 138 area, 139, 139.5, and 142. So 142 would have some support because the longer the line for whatever reason, it's just the stronger the support. That's what I've noticed. And as soon as it breaks through this cloud on the 4 hour, we'd see some selling pressure possibly down here to 138. And then even further out, maybe around here at 136 is where we'd stop at. And this is exactly how I get my price targets when it's going outside of the cloud. If it comes off a break, this is exactly what I would do. If it goes back to the downside and we break this 9 EMA, this T line in the green, and we begin to fall in the cloud, I probably wouldn't touch it until it goes to this right here, this support line. I would either play it for a bounce and get in calls and watch for a potential bounce upwards and see if we consolidate back upwards, or if it breaks through and we see a candle close right here through the whole cloud, I would begin to get some puts going, and I would wait for at least 140 or 140 around here, 141 or even 139.5. That would be my price target. I would say 139.5 or even 139, and then I said 137 down here somewhere, 136. That would be my price targets to the downside, just based off a little sharp line pretty much. That's exactly how I get my price target. I just look for whatever one has the line. It sounds kind of funny, but that's what I do. And those typically do line up with price targets and Wave Elliott moves and fibs. Whatever reason why it does, I send it in the chat, and Chris will say he has that exact target. It's like a 0.618, and it's just, to me, it's coincidentally, but I've noticed that those are strong points in support, and it's just something I've gone by this whole time for support levels. So this would be a support level since it's underneath, and if we got back above the cloud, I would simply just say the next resistance point would be 147, as this was the high breakout right here, and then up here, since there isn't no recent high, we're already at all-time highs for this stock. It's kind of hard to constantly have price targets of resistance to the upside, but it would just be 147 and then 150 since that's my all-time high. That's how I'll get my price targets for Apple. So that's Apple right there, but I need to show you guys some more scenarios. I stay within the 4 hour and 1 hour and daily charts though. All my call outs, I always chart it out to you guys, and it looks like this. I like to look at less candles. It just shows me exactly where the trend is. Ever since I've started doing that, I've been a great trader. So that's exactly what I do. So let's see. So Neo looks good here. So I'm gonna put it out one more time. Sorry, I messed up my chart twice right there. All right, so Neo, we could see right here, it found some resistance. The recent high, it pretty much hit this line right here, like the longest line, which would be a resistance level I would say would be around 47.5 or so, just to round up like the number. And then next one would be around here at 48.75. This will be another resistance. And then back here, if you go to this right here, you can see the cloud forming. I would say 49.35. And then lastly up here at 52 will be another resistance. So I'm going to put an alert up here if it ever breaks this, because then it'll be threatening back to go towards the 60s up there. So this is how I'll get a price target for my resistance level on a breakout within the 1 hour, 4 hour, anything. You just have to go back and really look at the whole cloud. As you can see right here, line right here in the bottom, line on top, a lot of lines. That's exactly how I find my resistance targets. I would say right here has a lot of resistance, and as you can see, it chilled off right there, and now we're sitting on VWAP, and we might see it come back down or trace down and then pop back up, or keep on going with momentum to the upside. But I think it might come back down, because typically when the line's flatter, like so, you can see these lines are flat. It's flat again right here. Whenever it's flat, price action should retrace to these lines. So that could be true when it's above the line or below, but it's going to act as some good support. So since you can see right here the 20-day moving average, and then we have the 90 EMA right here, the T line, If we saw price action retrace right here, I feel like we could see NEO bounce around 45, like what is this, 45.5 area. Anywhere between this range, we could see the price action bounces. There's a good deal of support right here and see a nice move to the upside. If not, we're going to retrace back to here at least. My next price target would be 44.9, so 45 practically, 44.9 if you want to be exact. That would be exactly where I would think we'd retrace next if we broke under here. So then what I would just do is I would have an alert set right here, create my alert for below. As soon as it broke this, I would start to keep my eyes on NEO, and then I would scalp from this area right here to this pretty much $1 move down here for NEO. And you can see that just like $2.50 is like a 6% move on NEO because it's under $100. It moves a lot more because the percentages. So a $1 move on this could get us a lot of money within a quick minute or so on a NEO scalp. I don't watch NEO, but it still works with the technicals here. So whenever you see a flat line like so, for the red or green line, the T line or the K line right here, it does mean that it's practically going to retrace. You can see right here, it came down and touched it, and as soon as it went and touched it, it liked what it saw, came back, and it's pushing back to the upside. It also crossed, and we broke underneath this green support, and you can see underneath the green support, it touches the red. Price action went back above the green, and it practically stayed above that whole time. And this candle right here is the one that got it above, and now it still had buying momentum right here. So you see that with NEO. All right, Palantir. So we can see Palantir here. This green cross, it's been looking good. Tick put out a tweet yesterday after hours. Coincidentally, he doesn't look at charts, but this cross happened pretty much yesterday, right when he tweeted. And then so we're seeing Palantir slowly get into this cloud. So what I would do is I would set an alert around here somewhere within this range and wait for a Palantir move towards the upside, breaking this cloud. And if it were to break, we'd see it rally like so up to here. We saw it go to 27.5 pretty much all the way down here. You can see this cloud, it ripped through it, and as soon as it rips through the negative clouds, it's the influx, it goes through and maintains over this green and red line practically the whole way there. I wouldn't say the whole way, but it almost did. So as soon as it breaks through the negative cloud, especially on a 4-hour time frame, I'm gonna keep on saying it. You guys need to start watching the 4-hour and the daily time frames more than any other chart. It's the only thing I watch, and if I don't like what I see, I'm not gonna play that day. So as soon as it broke through, we saw it come back down and retrace down here. It touched the 20 and the 50-day and also the support at the top of the cloud. Stayed above. And we see the cross. It happened way back here, but sorry. The cross happened right here. It stayed above the red line. And then it began to push above the 9 EMA. So UMesh uses the 9 EMA. So do I. I look at this every single day. This is pretty much what I use. As long as it's above that, it's in a good play. So I rely on the cloud every single day. That's why I look at the trade. Only thing I do is literally look at these support levels. And when it's breaking through here, I would say this is a good time to get a put. So as you can see, Palantir, after it topped up here at 27.5 recently, you see the green cross to the downside. You see it break through into the cloud. Didn't stay in there long. As you can see, it's a pretty thin cloud right here. And then so as soon as it broke here, which is around 25, you could have played it this whole time, and it dropped. We went to 24.3 to start, and then it dropped even lower down here to $22, and it still even went lower than that. So you could have picked up about like a 3-week out swing and then scalping it. Or once you saw that it couldn't break above the 9 EMA, it breaks below again. So as you can see, if it fails to get above the 9 EMA and stay above it, it'll sell off again once again eventually. You could just look at when's the nearest bottom, and if it breaks through that, it could sell. but we could see a nice move here for Palantir, I think. So I'm not really going to watch it when it's in the cloud. I'm just going to set an alert. I believe it's going to consolidate around here, maybe go down a little bit lower to test out what's a bit lower, and then prop through. And we're going to wait for this cloud to twist back to the upside. So you can see it twisted back here for negative. We might see it twist to the positive. Just because it's positive, like I said, it doesn't mean it's going to be a positive move. We could very well fail to get in this cloud even tomorrow and sell out. And if we do that, I'm not going to like what I'm seeing out of Palantir. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. If we can stay inside of here and maybe prop up and even get a wider gap between these two EMAs. If I could see the 9 EMA start to point upwards and we can prop through this cloud. If we get through this cloud at all, I'm going to be liking what I see for Palantir. So we're going to wait to see that, but we also have to start, now that I've been talking about the EMA, I need to tell you guys about the Chiku, because I haven't said anything about this yet. So watch your eyes on Palantir. I am going to set an alert around here, 23.4. And you might ask why I put it there exactly. It's in between this line and then anywhere up here, like these two lines up here, so it's in between these. And if it's out here, it'll be outside of the cloud, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to rip right up like this. And even if it does, I'll be more interested, I guess, then, because it has a lot of volume, and it might push through the cloud even quicker than I was expecting. So I just put it right there because even if it gets over 23.4, I think this stock goes to like $30, so I'm not going to miss out on $1 or anything or a couple cents. I don't really care. It's going to have a $7 move, in my opinion. So let's go check out the Chiku. I'm just going to show you guys Home Depot from when it had the crazy run. Or I could just even show you in a video. I'll show you guys in a video since we are all tech stocky over here. All right. Here we go. So I'm on the 4-hour chart still for this. I'm not going to change it. So as we can see, this did the influx cloud move right here. Ripped through the negative cloud. Obviously, okay, NVDA had news saying that it's going to split the stock, but that doesn't even matter. Technical, if you're looking at it right here, as soon as this all happened, we could have bought shares and we would have wrote it up, whatever this is, pre-split. So that was $80 prior to the split. That was like what, $200 then. So it ran $200 pretty much, $300 after it did this right here. So even if we knew the split was coming, it's going to run up regardless. We saw this technical happen. This would have been the ideal buying spot right here. This is what we're looking at here for Palantir. As soon as it breaks through like this, we're looking for upside at so, but not as exaggerated because they're not going to say they're going to split their stock. We'd probably see it move a good chunk up like this to up to here. And that's still a good play. Any sort of scalp you can play, it's a good play. So what I'm going to say, though, is as soon as this broke out, all this price action right here, we're looking at these candles. And what we always want to look at, too, is the Chiku line, the purple line. This Chiku line, as soon as it broke out over these candles and through this cloud, once it's poking its head up to even right here, it's a buy. As soon as it gets above the cloud and it's free, as long as this is free out of candles, out of cloud, it's a buy or a sell regarding which side it's on. So we can see here, I am going to go back to HD because I don't like how that drops it down with the split. So we can see here, back here, this will be labeled as a sell, but it didn't start selling yet. So as soon as it broke out, it probably had the move here and was pointing to the downside. And that'd be a good time to pick up put still. As you can see, it's still free down here to the downside, and it still moved down. And as soon as it crosses to the upside, it's the same thing. So as soon as it breaks out of the cloud, because after it breaks out of the cloud, it would already leave the price action. So it needs to be free of both, and it needs to be just pretty much above everything. So you can see in a video, or Home Depot, sorry, back on its run, it stayed above the 9 EMA here the whole time, practically up like, what, 80 points, something, plus that. And you can see as soon as the Chiku line went free, if you went long here, around here at 280, you could have still, I mean, there's 345, there's 328, there's plenty of tops on this one. That's at least like 70 plus points that you could have caught. So as soon as you see the Chiku line free, it's a good bullish indicator. It's probably the best indicator. It's also what I'm looking for non-stop, is if it's free out of the cloud out of the price action. So you guys need to remember that as well. You can see as soon as it propped out of this price action over here, it is a lagging indicator. So when all this happened, it was probably just starting to peak up here. And then as you can see, it started to move down. So it is a lagging indicator, but it's also a really good indicator to know. Watch, come right here. It's free, and it's still free. It's free again, so we might even see Home Depot go again if you get above this last high we just had after it consolidates probably for a little bit again now. So we might see it flag and then run. So as long as the Chiku is free, it's a good play. So either if it's to the upside or the downside. If it's inside of the action, it's probably not that good of an idea to touch the play, because I think Tesla has it inside of the price action as we speak. Yeah, it's right here. So as soon as we see this break out of this cloud, if we see the Chiku, if we see it up here anywhere breaking out, once it gets past this red line, even though that doesn't matter, once I see it though cross over here, it's going to be a good play to the upside. And I think Tesla gets going. I entered today because there's a lot of support right here with the 9 EMA, with the 20, we got the 50. We were right here when we first entered. Sorry, right here. We're still holding above, and I thought we were going to test it and honestly push into the cloud and at least get a couple moves up, but it didn't happen today. So let's see what tomorrow brings with that. But the reason why we entered that today was that exact reason. We were holding this support at first, and as soon as it broke through, premiums are still holding up on this one, but it's coming down to test this green line. As long as it's over this, it's still a good play, so that's why I'm still in it. As long as it stays over 652, it's a good play. And then we also played snow today, and so I'm going to show you guys why we're going to snow. So snow has a potential green cross right here, and it was prematurely early to enter the play, but we see the Chiku getting ready to run through price action. I thought we were going to get a break right here at 260. In this whole area right here is the top of the cloud, and this would be where all the resistance is right now for snow. So if we really do get above this 260, 261 even, you could say, it's going to move. As soon as we get these candles outside of the cloud to the upside, it's going to move nicely. So we want to see tomorrow this green line cross over the red line and hopefully get price action outside of the cloud, and we might see a move. But it's possible we get faked out on snow even. I mean, we sold today, but it's possible snow starts to give a fake, come up, touch the resistance, and then consolidate right here, and then wait for the move right here and get out and go free. Because even if it consolidates, my new number would be in about like next week. If we were to look at this stock, then my numbers for next week, I'll be looking at a break over 256, or even right here, like 259 still. Because my whole game plan would change. We'd have new candles. 260 resistance would no longer really be like the key number to break out. It would be over here, and the cloud shows you that. We'd be looking for breaks right here around 259 and between 255 at this line. 256, sorry. So let's hope and see what snow does, but I don't know if they give it up yet. Alrighty. But yes, make sure when it's inside of the cloud, don't make plays, in my opinion, unless it's breaking out of the cloud. So it breaks out, we saw snow push. Right as it broke out, we might see it do the same exact thing here. That's why I was trying to play it. But as you can see, last time in the cloud, we did come out to touch resistance, barely peeked the head out, and then the next day it opened. We came down here, retested it, and then broke through. So we might be doing that once again, testing and then coming back down. But my hope was that we weren't going to do that, and they were just going to send it. But we need to see the 9 cross the K line. We need to see this green line cross tomorrow, or in the coming days, and it'll show great bullish momentum. The Chiku's almost free, so we're almost there. I'm liking what snow has. And at the bottom of here, at this support right here, this is support. Longer the line, that's support. You can see And you can see over here, this will be a resistance for all this time on snow, around 247. And see it struggled to get above that area until it finally broke out above it. It's just starting to make that move now that we're still in. So as long as it's holding above this support, if we ever have a market sell-off, as long as it's holding above this 246 area, I would still be long snow because it'd still be above all this structure down here. And we'd still make a move to the upside, I think, and go up here to where this gap is up here, between 280 to 290 range. But yeah, so this is how we get my price targets. We go out on a daily time frame. We'll look at snow. We'll continue to look at snow. So it still looks good to me. You can see the Chiku Line's free. Snow is still a great play. This is why we're continuing to watch snow. You go out on the daily time frame. This is the strongest supports, the strongest resistances. The further you go out, the stronger every single time the moving averages will be for the cloud. So it's still sitting right above the K line, which I like. I want to see it stay above like this 259 practically, which we're doing. So it's still looking good. So as long as we stay above this now and we get a candle to push us above this green line, it could be a good swing play again for snow. This shows you right here, this snow play. It had the influx. It ran through, came down and tested all these supports I have. Red line flat. It came down and tested the flat line, bounced up off again. And then we're possibly seeing Chiku free, positive cloud, and we're possibly seeing snow break out above 260, go to 275 at least up here. And we could see it make a move up here towards 300. And even this one right here at 289. I think we go 289 to 300 range next on snow. And if we get above the 300, 320 is next at play. So I have my alert set on snow. I'll set it again for tomorrow. I've set it every single day. Break out over 260 area. I'll break it for 262 just in case. So if it gets over that number, I am really bullish on snow to go at least to 275 to 280. And then above that, I have 290, 300 price targets. And exactly how I get my price targets, as I said, there's a line right here, just barely on the cloud, it's barely there. And right here as well. So I have 300 as a price target. And then if it were to get above 320, next one will be at 329 up here. And if it were to ever get above that, these are my further price targets. So I made these back when it was coming down, and it's back this downtrend right here before I used my cloud. I was thinking it's going to break up, but if I saw the cloud, I would have known this is not going to happen, and it was below all this resistance, and it would have broke under. So I wasn't trading with the cloud back then, so now I am, and I'm glad I am. But I'm liking what I'm seeing on snow. We can go to Palantir, and that it was looking like that a while back too. This only first entered the play, but the Chiku was never free. So snow can explode compared to Palantir. Palantir wasn't quite ready still, and as you can see on the daily, it held this support right here, which was around 21.5 area. It did go lower, but it's back in right here in the cloud. We're gonna see it probably plop. I don't even know what to say, like prop its head out, I guess, and then get above right here and probably go retest the red line right here around 24. You can see it's flat. When it's flat, it wants to retest. You can see right here it's flat. It made a move and it stayed flat. And the price action came to at least test it or go through it. And then so we could also see a green cross happen if we get above this red line at 24. So hopefully for Palantir, we found some nice support here. And we're bowled up on this one. And we get at least a 30 right here. See, I have 29.66. So I would just say like a 30 price target. And then there's 33 would be next in my opinion. And then up here I have 35-ish, 34, 35. I'm just going to round it up to 35. So probably another 3 months, 2 months. If you want to, I don't within there, I would say 2 months. I think, yeah, yeah. I usually look at 4 hour and dailies what I'm looking at, and then 1 hour. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'd be using. And then so I would say that time frame, because it's Palantir, it's either going to rocket up one day or it's going to literally chop the whole way up there. It's really hard. So I got to say 2 months at least so I don't get anyone's hopes up, because I could really see it still taking a while to get up, or even consolidating within this cloud and really making people angry before it even makes a move to the upside. We still need to see it get above this 24. We might have issues. So I do think we eventually get up here to 35. But yeah, I love snow. This one has a perfect bullish. This is a perfect thing we're looking at right here. I'm telling you guys, the Chiku's free. We just need to stay above this 260 kind of right here, and we're going to see a nice move on snow. I think we'll see this Friday again, maybe. I think we've seen Friday rippers every single time on snow, if I'm right. And if it does that again, it stays above this 90 MA on Friday, I think we have another crazy day where it goes another like 20 points or so. So keep your eye on snow. As soon as it gets above this 267, 275, it's going to run even more. And so it still has 15 points to get there. So you could always pick up about 2 months out a swing play on snow for around like 300 calls or something. And I think it'd pay you still. I think it'll be good. I'll pick those up tomorrow though. Don't get them in the morning. And don't trade right at the first ticker or the first like tick, like the first candle. It's also why I don't use these time frames. I don't really care what's going on for the first candle of the day, even one candle in general. I like to look at longer time frame. And if you're looking at this to start the day right here, say it's 6:30, and you're looking at Apple, pull this move, and you just wait. I mean, you could wait for the candle to close, and then you're like, oh, this is a bullish candle. If you look at it, see buying pressure, bought it up, stuck it above the green line still and the red, and then if you just bought the call, honestly, knowing that this should probably go up, don't look at this candle. It's still bullish somewhat. I guess it is a bearish doji, but it's almost doji. And you could just wait again to see what the next candle does. But that's just all waiting because you're on the 30-minute time frame. I mean, you're still going to wait regardless, but you could look at a nicer candle, and you're going to look at a real trend. So if I even go from the 30-minute to the 1 hour, you could see that this morning we're in the cloud. So I wouldn't even have taken the trade, probably, if we're sitting like this in the middle of it. I probably wouldn't have taken a trade. But it still came down and touched the support. The line stayed above these supports, not the 90 MA, but then the next candle did on the hour. And then so you could even went long right here after waiting for that all volatility to shoot down. And then it breaks out above. And now we could just set an alert, honestly, for right here at 260 on snow. And you're still waiting for this to break out. You're seeing this push. Chiku's almost out of the cloud. As soon as this pushes above 260, 261, say it's 261, we see the Chiku free on the 1 hour time frame. You're going to see every other time frame trying to catch up to that, and then before you know it's going to be at 280. So very bullish on snow, and it looks very good to show you guys. This is what a bullish stock would look like, in my opinion. I'm glad we have snow as an example. We could go look at memes real quick. Show you guys. Like we could even trade memes with the cloud, so it's sticking above the 90 MA here on the daily, and also this support 40. It's barely above it, but it's above it, and so we might see some consolidation in here for a while in this cloud, or we might just see a rip up to the upside. So I'm not really going to do much to look at it, but as you can see, the red line was flat for a long time on AMC, and so you could have seen that it was going to come back and back test it at least once, but not twice. Then you see the bearish cross, and that's exactly why you saw a move from 52 all the way down here to 31. I mean, that's a $20 move. It's almost 50% of the stock. The best thing to be looking for is this cross, in my opinion. So turn on your Heiken Ashi candles and look for these crosses. And then so as long as we stay below this red line, we are therefore bearish on AMC. And just don't even look at it because it's going to stay inside of this cloud and consolidate. But as you can see back here, when it was running, the Chiku was super free, and ever since then, it's back in the candles now. So just wait again, and we'll wait and see when memes move. But for the Ichimoku, that is all I really do when I'm looking at this stuff. I showed you guys how to use my support and resistance. I mean, support would be right here around this line. You could see when it broke through the cloud, it pretty much went to that line and then bounced up around 540 back then on Tesla. And then if we see Tesla break out and stay above, it's having a tough time right now, but it's still staying above all these supports. So in the long run, we might see Tesla up here, and we're going to be looking back at this and being like, why didn't we hop in when Tesla was having his little lesson? Because they're going to be like, look, it was holding its support, and it was getting ready to break through this cloud for the influx, and it's going to probably rip up here if we see growth still go. It's very possible. We need to sustain, stay above the 666 area up here, and then we have to get above 700. If we get above 700, the Chiku goes free, and we go up to 800 quick on Tesla. But we have an ER. We might not even do anything. The stock might not even move. It could be irrelevant, or it could be a catalyst to one side or the other. So we might break out of the cloud to the downside or to the upside based off this ER. Don't trade ERs ever. And we'll see what happens with Tesla. All the tech, I believe, has their earnings next week. Not all, but like a good majority. So we're going to see what happens with that. And as of right now, I still think we're holding up good support. And I think if we get above 666, we see Tesla test 700 soon. Like really soon after we get above this level. It likes to move quick. So that's what I'll do to be watching Tesla. We see the positive twist already right here. So we could hope and see that we get more upside. And then I still use trend lines, as you can see. I just use simple trend to show me where I'm going. And the main thing I do, though, is when I'm trying to find price targets, is I just look for the cloud break. I mean, I posted a play the other day where I thought GS was going to break through the cloud, and it barely stayed in. So if it broke through here, this cloud, around 255 when it was down here, my next price target would have been down here around 315, 314 for GS. We could have seen Goldman Sachs come down at least to 326, and then if the selling pressure continued, we would have been down here towards 313. Those would have been my price targets. So it stayed above in the cloud, and so we might see it consolidate or just rip back to the upside. As you can see, though, today it's been looking good. It ripped up. Could even use this on all time frames for any of you guys, because I bet you guys like to use the 30-minute, 15-minute, any of those time frames. So here you guys can even scalp. Look at this. So we got a cross right here, and you could have just went in the play from right here at 43.82, and then closed your eyes and been up 4 points on Neo if you got in about a 2 or 3 week out contract. As soon as you see the screen cross, just hold it. Pretty much is what you could have done. And then today, it had a lot of buying pressure, so it did help it going up 6% today on Neo. So it's really important. But as soon as you see this green cross, it's bullish indicator. It's what I look at every single time. I know I'm saying probably the same exact things to you guys, but these same little things I use with the Ichimoku Cloud, this is exactly what I do every single day, and it's profitable. And so we're seeing Neo. As you can see, the little indent right here, the little line, this is the resistance. Next one we have right here will be up here towards 49. So when it's breaking out, that's how you use the cloud, the past cloud, to get future resistances or supports if it's to the downside. And as you can see, I have all my alerts set exactly. That's how I do it right here. So 52 will be my next resistance. And then down here, if it breaks these lines, around 45.5, I will be bearish on Neo. But that's also, I believe, yeah, around the red line right here. Sometimes we do see it retrace like this. So now we might see Neo come down and retest down here around this exact alert where I have. We might see it come down and retest this 45.5 before making a move back to the upside. It's kind of nice having this to show you that the EMAs are like kind of resetting. So we might see that double support right here happen and get a bounce on Neo. But as you can see, cloud support right here, we bounced off of cloud support and bounced up. Pretty much all I use for the cloud is it shows me great support, great resistance, and then the future resistance and support as well when it's breaking out of the cloud. It's just really there to help me out with my trading, and that's all I really use to show me my support and resistances. And then I have breakout flags I'll make, so it all goes hand in hand. You saw my Tesla chart. We're still waiting on this kind of flag to break. I mean, it's not ideally perfect. I haven't updated it in a while, but it's still almost in this trend. If it stay above the 660 area, if it gets up here, then it would still be on this trend and it would be up to the upside. So I use that all hand in hand, and then so as you can see on the 30-minute, we're inside of the cloud on Tesla, I guess. So that's that right there, but we do have a flat line, and so we might come up here and retest this at around 658 before making a move back up. So everything to remember from this lesson would be the green over red cross or the green under red cross, and over's bullish, under's bearish. Also what to remember, the Chiku, when it's free, you want to be long on the play. Unless it's to the downside and it's free, you want to have puts. So the Chiku is very important. I recommend using longer time frames so you can really see the trend of what's going on. I think you guys will become more profitable if you guys use longer time frames. So Chiku's free. You want to be entering the play. As long as price action is above the green line, it's still safe to be in the play, as you can see. And then whenever red line is flat, same one for green line, it goes same thing, hand in hand. Whenever it's flat, price action should retrace and meet there. So that's something to always remember as well. And then whenever there's a breakthrough of the clouds, if it breaks through the negative cloud to the upside, it's going to have a strong move back upwards. So you can see right here, broke through the negative cloud. It broke through here at 668 and didn't waste no time and tried to go up here all the way to 696. So it's a 30-point move right there. So we could expect another 30-point move or so when we break out again and go right back to up here. It's a 700. And we form a W right here. And also even form a double bottom if you look at it right here as well. One bottom, two bottom, we upside. Yeah. So it looks quite good if you ask me for Tesla. Long term, I think we go visits the high 700s. I think we get out of this cloud and make a move. So that's why I'm holding my calls right now. I think we'll be at 680 soon in no time on this stock. And if we're holding 680, there's no reason why we're at 680, and we'll go up into 696 next. So I've seen a lot of bearish and bullish calls coming in, or calls and puts coming in for Tesla, because the ER comes up in about a week. But we'll see what happens. It very well might not even make a move, and we might just continue to have the stock move how it does. But yep, inside of the cloud is consolidation. Outside of the cloud, it's free price action. It's when you want to be entering the play when it's outside of the cloud. Either way. Obviously, to the downside, you're going to probably make more money. It's going to have a quicker move. It's going to continue to move to the downside. So as soon as it breaks through underneath the cloud like so, this is an opportunity to go short. See, it comes up here and tries to retest that resistance now. And we break down all the way down here to 620. So you could have gotten in here or even here off this break at 648 and gotten about 30 points off a short. Sorry, drinking some water. Are there any questions right now, or I guarantee you someone has to have a question. You guys can speak. If you guys are typing, anyone can speak. Everyone's not sure. Can you share the link to the chart that gets created by TOS? Like, you need my like, do you just want me to send you the study, the exact study? Because I can go over to my studies, I believe. Let me see if I can share it. Here, I'll have to probably direct message you about that. I can do that after and try and send that to you and give you the screenshot of it. But we do see a flat line here on Tesla on the 2 hour down here. So if we do break out of the cloud, expect us to come down here to 643 and test that before making any pushback to the upside. But we do have this green cross, and so I expect us to have bullish momentum. Stocks I'll be looking at will be Snow, Tesla. I haven't looked at Airbnb, but Neo, Airbnb could be cooking something up. It's not there yet. It needs to get above this. And then it should come up here and retest 142. And if we ever get above these clouds, I'll be good on Airbnb. I think YouTube is where it'll be posted. All right, cool. Cool. You're welcome. Yeah, anyone, if you want to speak up, go ahead. Alrighty, sounds like there's no questions. Yes, please, if you can please show the study, thank you. Okay. If I can't share the exact study, I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you guys. But yeah, it's on. It'll be on the YouTube. It's in the recording right at the start. I show you guys my settings, what studies I have, and then everything. So let me just show you guys my moving average too, so you guys have it. I recommend putting my moving averages on the 20 and the 50, and my 50, or sorry, I always mess them up. My 20 is orange, and then I chose these little circular spaces instead of a line. And then my 50 is bluish green. I guess it's like a teal, and same thing right there. I do it instead of the line. Yeah, I have the VWAP on. Not really for short. I don't really use any sort of shorter time frame. If I do go in on a 30 minute, I would use VWAP, I guess. That is the shortest time frame I'll go in on. I look at that, but it usually goes hand in hand with the 90 MA almost. So I almost like it's almost there as double support is when I look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's above the VWAP and the 90 MA. It's just kind of there. I kind of look at the 90 MA more than the VWAP, to be honest. It's just that when I first started trading, I was using the VWAP, so I've never really taken it off. I still think it's a good indicator, though. That's why I keep it on. Exactly. I have to use it. It makes sense to me. For how many days I look at? Oh yeah. Sorry, the moving averages. Sorry, I use the 50 and the 20. Those are my those are these ones right here. If you're watching, it's right here. Got the 50. 20's right here. Green's 9. This one's 26. Yeah, and then so that's how you would set it up. On my trading view, I look at the 200, but not on my Thinkorswim. So I am looking at that casually in after hours during the trading day. I don't really care. So usually we're not even next to the 200 day. If we are, I'll look at it on trading view as well on the side, and then look at it over here. Yeah, yeah, that's why I keep it on my trading view. Mm-hmm. I'd rather just be looking at that, but definitely use the 200-day on a trading view or put it on your TOS if you want, but it won't be always in the picture. But once it is, it'll be killer because you'll most likely bounce off there. Yeah, I saw we start like the same time. Yes. I'm looking for a TK cross. So this is TK for anyone that doesn't understand that. And then so I'm looking for this cross always. And then I'm looking for, yes, to break through the negative cloud. So anything that's red, I'm looking for those because I expect it to have a nice push to the upside. I would expect Airbnb to come up to 148 right here, and then 151, and then so on up here to 158, 157 range. That's exactly what I look at. Yes. Yeah. So then if I'm looking also though, if it breaks through this green, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it for support, but if it does break through, like I would get burnt right here, but I would take the play. I guess I wouldn't get burnt, but I will get a solid couple points and then either get greedy or sell out here, hopefully. But I would expect more downside if it breaks through the cloud, especially when it's this thin up here. I would probably re-enter again when it breaks through this support because this would be support I would see at around 150, 149.8 right here. This would be support. If it broke through there and I see these candles open up underneath, I will go short on this. And then, yeah, same rule applies pretty much for right here. These would be all be resistances right here. And if it breaks through that, I'm going long. If it gets above if it gets above 140 and stays above 140, you could get a scalp at least to 142, I think, which I think would still even be fine. I do both depending. I don't always have trends set up, but my Tesla trend line I would be looking at it kind of if I were to make it longer, like if it were to break through over here. As soon as it gets above, yeah, up here anyways, if it stays above 680, I figure it would come and probably back test this trend line and then make a move again to the upside. That's the only reason why I have this trend line there is to see. I mean, on my trading view, I always have my trend lines up, but I have this one because I look at Tesla like every day. So I'm looking at this one to break the trend line, but then also I want it to get above this support right here at 660 and at least maintain that. If it gets above that 660, I think we have upside up here where we break through this and come up here to 680. Not very often. I haven't touched these in a long time, really. Yeah, as soon as we saw this right here, and so I had a shorter trend line already set up back here. And then so originally when it was testing this, as soon as this first one got made, I made a trend line all the way back here, and it tested again back here, and it broke down. And then so I've had that line already ready, and it came up here, and I already knew it was going to probably bounce, especially with this 696. I figured it wasn't going to break through yet, and then take its time. This candle almost got me though. I thought it was for sure going to break out. I bought calls on that too. I think I barely didn't get destroyed. Yeah, it went up to like 700 on like the dot. Yeah, nah. Yeah, it was a crazy candle. That's a crazy candle right there. But yeah, so we see that, and figure it's gonna come down here, and then I had these other trends set up and it kind of bounced off that trend line, and it likes to make its move, so it even came all the way back up here to retest. and it's just kind of doing whatever, but I think it comes back up here and does it again. I think we see exactly what kind of happened here next. I think we just saw that go down, and then we push right back up how we just came from over here. This? Scroll down here. This? Oh, this is the implied volatility. Yeah. Yeah, I would turn that on your charts too. Yeah. So you can see back here, it was still super juiced on this right up. And then so you'd still be losing money, even though it's pushing up slightly. The premium's going down. So, I mean, if you had weeklies, it'd still kind of be hurting you going to the side right here. And then, yeah. Yeah, so then, yeah, so I entered that next week Tesla play. I probably should have gotten an extra week, honestly, because I saw this cross. And then if honestly, I might enter a new one. I might roll it out and then enter an extra week because I do think we push back up here towards 700 if we break out above up here around 663. And then because we got this green cross and then we have low volatility right here, so I was trying to pick up calls while they're cheap, kind of technically. And if we do see it push up, we're going to see a huge spike, and that's usually what I'd be doing. So, yeah, so I think it's a good play. I think Tesla has a good move. And then so it did nothing today. It's kind of just consolidating right here, going down, getting supports, and then I think it's going to push up. So that's the 4 hour. So the only thing I would look at would be probably the 4 hour and the daily right here. If it sticks above, yeah, 657, it needs to get above 650.